You got them to meet on enemy turf.
Absolutely. I got them convinced the thousands of applicants we represent are eager to settle.
Since when?
Well, they're not, but the general doesn't know that.
I don't get it. They think we're ready to cave and we're not ready to cave?
I had to get them to the table, Ben. Not an easy task, you know, with that watchdog, Pilsner.
I wouldn't play games with Pilsner. She's not one to be toyed with, and she's a damn good lawyer.
But you got him to settle that California case for a shitload of dough, and Pilsner was on their team. Why do you think we brought you in on this?
Okay, so they're coming, now what?
Well, now we show them what we have.
And what do we have?
We have the independent medical exams, boys. Hot off the presses.
I'm sure once we spring this on them, General's gonna change their tune.
Judge Brokaw ordered that all medical and scientific reports were to be turned in by today and exchanged.
We just got these in last night.
Oh, bullshit. You probably had the good doctor hold it back.
Benny, baby, now would I do that? Why, that smacks of unethical behavior.
Hey, they'd screw us if they could.
Federal judges don't like to be hoodwinked.
Yeah, but I guess nobody cares if General kills millions of people with their PFOAs and their other tasty carcinogens, huh?
General's researchers knew about the toxicity of C8. They've been using that shit to make Teflon since the 60s, and they never disclosed that to the communities where they have plants. It's clear that they knew it was killing people years ago, and they kept pumping that shit into the water because it would cost too much to clean up.
It shows the cause of the cancer. It puts it right in their lap.
They'll never cop to it. When I settled California, they never admitted to anything. Their team is not going to like being conned into this settlement conference.
We have to keep this case out of the courtroom. I saw Pilsner defending General in that chemical burn case when the warehouse blew up half of Brooklyn. She had the worst defense you could ask for. I mean, undeniable negligence bordering on the criminal. And yet there she was, working her magic. Smart, charming, and sexy. It was the first time I saw somebody make chicken salad out of chicken shit. By the time she was done, she had them all wrapped around her little finger.
Ooh, I heard if she smiles at you, it means she's ready to rip your head off.
She won, didn't she?
She sure did. The plaintiffs were royally screwed. I mean, not a dime. I'm telling you, she shines in the courtroom. It's like her natural habitat.
Okay, so we don't want to go to court, but how are they going to react once they realize they've been tricked into this meeting? You've lost all credibility with them. I would have not done the same thing.
Well, that's because you're a big-time New York lawyer, Ben. Frankie and I...
Oh, please, Phil, you've played that Atticus Finch routine too many times.
But that's who I am, Ben. I'm just a poor white trash lawyer kicking the shit off my leather boots.
More like alligator boots. Listen, gentlemen, we're partners. Your interest in this case is my interest, but I've dealt with these people before.
California's different from the rest of the country. You know it, I know it, and more importantly, they know it. They settled your case because they were afraid that you could prove the C8 was in the water, causing all kinds of damage to the general public drinking that contaminated bullshit.
The law is the law.
Well, here in New York, unless your evidence is conclusive proof, the court won't let it in. In this circuit, the federal judges do not like class action suits. You can blame that on our friend Mr. Bush. Yeah, he appointed all those right-wing yahoos to the bench.
So that's really why you're so hot to settle.
For the right money, I'd settle with Hitler.
What's the right money? We have over 50,000 possible class members in New York State alone.
And honestly, I mean, the personal injuries are probably going to have to be tried separately. You know what the chances of us getting this class certified if we insist on keeping them in? Zip.
Well, why'd you include them in the original complaint?
Be a prick. And with the hope that General will settle their personal injury claims before we file a motion to certify the class. Not going to be as clear-cut as our Hoagie case. You know, the one where the foot long wasn't a foot long?
I brought that case in. It was the best class action ever.
Some guy was eating his well-advertised 12-inch hoagie, and the son of a bitch decides to measure his sandwich.
Why?
Yeah, why? Who the hell knows? Anyway, he discovers his sandwich is only 11 inches. Oh, he was furious. Took that sandwich straight to his lawyer, and then somehow his lawyer got a hold of Frankie.
That was the best class action ever. I mean, imagine this. Hundreds of thousands of hoagie lovers out there, and each and every one of them missing a lot of inches over a lot of hoagie-eating years.
The personal injury claims in this General Chemical case are so varied, though, that they're all over the map. Not going to be as simple as our missing engine. Certainly not as much fun.
I could have a little fun with Pilsner, huh?
Oh, keep your pants on, Francis. I told you. She only goes for older, wealthy lawyers like Ben.
Ah, you looking for your fourth wife now, Phil, huh?
3 wives?
Yeah, but he always dumps them before the statute of limitations runs out. You throw crumbs at each of them and keep all your dough.
Almost all my dough.
Some of his ex-wives had to go on welfare.
Oh, you laugh, you son of a bitch. Just wait till some beautiful broad grabs you by your balls, and you're in front of the preacher saying, "Hi, Jim."
Ah, never gonna happen, Phil, baby. Love him and leave him, pal, all right? That's my motto. You don't think I could have a little fun with Pilsner?
Trust me, gentlemen, going up against Pilsner is not fun. She was tough as nails in California. And the board of directors, they listened to her.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I thought Dubliner was the one who calls the shots.
Oh, that's what everybody thinks, but they listened to her and to Perez.
And now they're going to have to listen to us. Ben, before they get here, we should discuss the counsel fees.
Oh, I thought we could table that issue until after we settle the class members' claims.
Oh yeah, what's that, for publication only? Hey, I know you like to work for nothing. You're the guy that put pro and pro bono. Just let Frankie and I take all the fees.
Are you still on Prozac? Trust me, I want full compensation for our clients, but fees are still close to my heart.
Well, maybe we can get 25% of whatever we settle the class claims for.
I'd certainly go along with that, but what's the split?
Oh, easy. There's only 3 lawyers representing the case, so we each get a third.
Oh, hold it, Phil. I should get a greater share because I have 20 partners. I have to...
Saved by the bell. Thanks, Nancy. Okay, send them in. Gentlemen, it is a showtime.
Well, let's drop the house on them.
Guys, remember, we got to settle to get the injured paid. Greetings, counselors.
Phil?
John, I don't think you've ever met my junior partner, Frank Warsaw.
Pleasure.
Do you know Dorothy Pilsner?
Only by reputation.
Gentlemen,
And our outside counsel, Ignacio Perez.
How do you do?
Hello.
And this is Edward Duchamp, Senior VP of Corporate Strategy with General. He asked if he could come along to...
Let's just say I was curious.
Well, thank you for slipping on over to our humble home. Please, be seated.
It's good to see you, Ben.
Ignacio.
hi Ben.
Miss Pilsner, always a pleasure.
Of course, you all know Ben, MVP of the California settlement.
Oh, they know. They handed me the prize.
Mr. Donaldson knows how lucky he was to catch us with our pants down.
Can we offer you something? Coffee or...
No, thank you. I don't believe.
Well, I'm a believer.
It's my own special blend, made especially for me in Milan.
I prefer espresso, but regular coffee will do.
I could use a smoke.
I thought all New Yorkers gave up smoking, Miss Pilsner.
You're probably too young to remember people smoking indoors, Mr. Warsaw.
Oh, he looks younger than he is. Frankie boy here turns 40 this year.
He looks like he just had his bar mitzvah.
Gentlemen and lady, as much as I'd love to partake of this somewhat entertaining repartee, I've got to leave by noon. You call this meeting, we're here to listen.
Oh, gee whiz, John, I'm so sorry to inconvenience you, but I thought this meeting was the decision of all of us, so that maybe we can settle this case. That's going to cost your company millions in legal fees if we go to court.
Phil, you invited us here. You said your clients were ready to settle. If that's not the case, why the hell are we here?
Maybe plaintiff's counsel has seen the error of their ways and would like to get a few dollars in attorney's fees and easily dispense of this frivolous suit.
You think we're just trying to make a few bucks? We have better things to do than dance around the table with you guys. Your client misled the American public about the health consequences of C8. They've been pumping that poison into the public's drinking water supply, and they had the balls to keep using it knowing that it was killing people.
Bullshit.
Frankie, please. I'm sure Ms. Pilsner was just trying to get your goat. Isn't that so, Ms. Pilsner?
We've evaluated the expert reports and depositions, and we can't see how you'd even get your class certified. General Chemical has already submitted affidavits that C8 might not have caused your client's cancer. Your guys haven't even proved there was enough C8 to cause any damage.
And Ben here was telling us what a joy your team was to work with in California.
If you're banking on the California settlement, forget it, counselor. California law is much more favorable to the consumer than any other jurisdiction, and besides, it was the first suit.
Yeah, and you settled, which opens the door for a national claim.
I was against the settlement in California. I got outvoted by my lawyer colleagues. I may not be a lawyer, but I know General Chemical better than anyone else in this room. I can assure you that General has never intentionally dumped chemical waste into the drinking waters. Never! Why are we being demonized, crucified, accused of killing innocent people? Never happened!
That's bullshit. I don't care that you're not a lawyer. You're worse. You suit. You knew what you were doing. Yes, you did. You sure did.
Oh, who let the intern in?
Instead of settling for money, they'll make you drink the water.
Sit down, Erin Brockovich.
Frankie here. Frankie here gets a little emotional when he thinks his clients are being screwed.
California won't happen again. Believe me.
We were totally unprepared for a class action claim back then. The board almost fired us all.
I thought it was a fair settlement.
Why wouldn't you, Ben? My client paid your firm over $30 million in fees.
We were worth every dime of it. And Mr. Perez, your firm did pretty well on the defense side. Rumor has it you charged 7 figures to poor General Chemical.
What we charge our client is none of your goddamn business.
Touchy, aren't we, counselor?
When you boys are done measuring your dicks, let me bottom line it for you. If you're banking on the California settlement, forget it. We feel we settled much too soon and for too much money. If you would like to consider a token settlement for your poor little clients, and be richly compensated for your valiant efforts, then let's talk. Otherwise...
I'm sorry I couldn't get this out before today. This is an independent report based on EPA's findings whether the shit you're putting into streams alongside your factories really causes cancer. All kinds of cancer. Lung cancer, lymphoma, prostate cancer. Even a good chance it causes brain cancer. And if you leaf through to the last page, you'll find the committee's opinion that, believe it or not, those PFOAs and PCBs you're dumping really do cause cancer. In New York alone, we think over 50,000 people have been exposed. And if the suit goes national, the class could go over 1 million. 1 million people just waiting for cancer to hit. Take your time, folks. My co-counsel and I will step out of the room so you can fully digest the report's conclusions. Just give Nancy a call when you're ready. Gentlemen?
This report specifically quotes from our internal studies. How the fuck did they get our internal documents?
What documents?
We did some studies years ago. They were grossly flawed and should have been destroyed.
Why in God's name would anyone at corporate release this?
This report is based on privileged information. We need to go to court and get it stricken.
Let's tell them to screw themselves and go to trial, not give them a goddamn penny. You know this is all about their goddamn fees. They don't give a shit about the so-called injured peasant out there. I say we tell the board to fight these assholes till the end of time.
Dorothy, do you think any judge in his right mind is going to strike this report? An independent report supported by the EPA findings? Forget it. All we have to do is tear that foundation studies apart.
But this report is based on our own studies.
They were wrong. You always conduct studies on your products. It doesn't mean they're always right. You have to prove that your own studies were flawed.
Can we get experts to do that?
Mr. Deschamps, you pay the right money, you get the right experts.
And if we do that, we can kill the class certification and throw out all the personal injury claims. Each claim would have to be tried separately.
But then General is left fighting millions of individual personal injury claims, just like the Vioxx situation.
If the class is certified for medical monitoring, injunctive relief, cleanup, it could cost hundreds of millions, maybe billions of dollars. No. The only way out of this mess is to try and settle today. Personal injury claims, everything.
And if we don't?
Then I suggest General escrow several $1 billion in its offshore accounts because that's what's going to cost them when this is all played out.
What is it with you guys? Am I the only one with any balls? I'm telling the board we go for broke.
And I'm telling you, the board isn't gonna like this. John, why didn't I know about this medical report before today? I told the board that we could settle these claims for pennies on the dollar.
This is going to take some creative thinking. When they come back in the room, let me do the talking.
We shouldn't talk settlement today. We need to show this report to our experts. And also that goddamn internal study from our own scientists that I was unaware of.
We have another option. John?
After California, we didn't think Donaldson was going to just ride off into the sunset. Oh no. We knew that he would reappear.
I don't get it. He's here, so what?
We hired a private investigator.
As long as I've known Donaldson, he's a straight arrow.
Yeah, professionally, yes. Privately, that's another story.
But what the hell does Donaldson's private life have to do with settling this case?
Well, our investigation found that even though he's been married for 30 years or so and has 2 sons, well, there's a little something on the side.
He doesn't look like a player. Who is she?
He was a student in Donaldson's civil law class at NYU.
God damn it! What the hell does Donaldson's private life have to do with settling this case?
After California, we had to do something. California was only the beginning. Sure, we could absorb a loss of a couple of $100 million, but, well, if it became a national attack, we were looking at potentially billions of dollars out the window. We had to do something. So we did something. Yes, it's my idea.
And the board of directors?
Some knew, some didn't. The ones that knew backed up our investigation 100%. I say we use it.
I think if Ignacio was to meet with Donaldson privately, then he'd come around.
Oh, screw that. I'm not going to jail on some blackmail charge for anybody.
I think your partners are going to be pretty unhappy if you lose General as a client.
I presume we have pictures, videos.
Enough to make him sweat. We're still trying to get to the boy. He's somewhere in Europe.
Look, it's not the end of the world. I'm sure Ignacio, John here, or maybe even Dorothy can approach Donaldson.
And what do you expect him to do? Convince Alessi in Warsaw to cave in because we have pictures of him cornholing a young stud?
Donaldson might listen, maybe be reasonable. That's all we're asking for, to be reasonable.
You know, if this bullshit ever leaks out, it will make the BP case look like cakewalk. I can't even imagine what Judge Brokaw would do.
I suggest we tell him we have to sleep on it. We've got to get this report to our experts. They know that we can't agree to a settlement without board approval. And then Ignacio can arrange a meeting with Donaldson.
I am not gonna be your errand boy. I've been a lawyer way too long without a blemish on my reputation. A risk ruining my career for you guys? Not me. And if I have to lose General as a client, so be it.
I'll do it. But we do it my way. If I feel we don't have to use it, we don't use it, understand? The reason I'm volunteering for this is because I've dealt with Donaldson before. We have a good rapport. Maybe he can still respond to a woman's touch.
Okay, it's Dorothy. Listen, we're only looking for a reasonable settlement, nothing more.
All right, so we're all in agreement.
I'm not going to fight you. But I want you to know that I and my firm are totally against this. Totally.
Ignacio, General has paid you and your firm millions of dollars. Don't forget that. Okay, let's call him in and tell him that we need to sleep on it.
wanted to talk to you before you got to Donaldson.
When I first moved to New York, I used to walk through Central Park every day. Moving here was a difficult adjustment, and the park helped. Look, someone's got to do it.
I guess you know what you're getting yourself into.
Thank you for your concern, but I can take care of myself.
Yeah, that's what Melvin Weiss at Millbrook said right before he pleaded guilty for taking illegal client kickbacks. Next thing you know, he's sitting in a federal prison cell making potholders with Martha Stewart.
Hey, I look good in gray.
You got jokes.
I got something. I've given them 10 years at General, but I could be out on my ass any day. So I will be meeting with Donaldson tomorrow. I need to stay at General.
You can go somewhere else.
And give up the pleasure of seeing you?
I like you, Dorothy, but I just don't want to see you get hurt.
I need to redeem myself after California. I failed.
You can't look at it that way.
Everyone else does. I know everyone agreed to settle. Everyone said we were unprepared, which is code for Dorothy was unprepared. But I am always prepared.
You're the star.
But I never told you that my hands were tied during that case. And I did something I thought I'd never do.
I don't know if I want to hear this.
Late one night, during the California case, I was going through some file boxes, disorganized, going back years. And I came across an old plain envelope. Inside was an unmarked tape, not a digital file or an MP4, a videotape, a relic. Curiosity got the best of me, as it often does, and I put the tape into a VCR, after I located a VCR. The first shots were of some farmland, narrated by who I guessed was the farmer as he filmed it. He said that General Chemical had bought some land next door and was using it as a landfill for waste and runoff. In a bend in the creek was a pile of what appeared to be dirty snow. As the camera zoomed in, that pile of dirty snow turned out to be a yellowish, soapy froth. The farmer said he had pulled 2 dead deer and 2 dead cattle out of the creek with blood running out of their nose and mouth. Apparently this had all started after General moved in, and he wanted people to know what General was doing. The next shot was of a large pipe with green liquid running out of it into the creek where his cattle used to drink. There were cows, crooked spines, tumorous growths, bald spots. There was a calf lying on a bed of hay, wheezing. I thought, why doesn't he just put that poor creature out of its misery? Next to him was a calf, emaciated, dead, with pus coming out of its open eye. The farmer said he was going to perform an autopsy on the little guy because he couldn't get any help from the local veterinarians. The rest of the video was largely him cutting up the carcass of the calf, cracking open its skull, slicing open its organs, all discolored and unrecognizable. His last words were, "God help us." I had the tape. I didn't know if the plaintiffs had it. I knew we had to settle that case, that the tape could never come out.
Do you still have it?
I destroyed it. It would have been the nail in General's coffin.
I'm sure it could have been discredited.
I don't think so. I couldn't take that chance. I did it to save General.
You could lose your license. What you did was criminal. Oh, God damn it, Dorothy. I don't know where this case is going, but for your sake, I never heard any of this.
Thank you. You got my back? Still think I'm a star? Usually I expect my male counterparts to pay attention to my tits and ass and not my legal position.
I'm a happily married man.
Those are the worst kind. Everyone's happily married, but they still manage to look at my breasts before they look me in the eye.
They are special.
You're sick. I gotta go, Ignacio. Look, if I don't feel it will do us any good, the Donaldson thing, then I won't use it. I'll just tell him I wanted to get a cup of coffee with him for old time's sake. Anyway, I'll see you in a couple days with the rest of the boys. You look like a latte guy to me.
No, good old American coffee for me. But maybe Frank Warsaw?
He's too young for me. They have the best coffee here. It makes Starbucks taste like dishwater.
I would have suggested Milo's for dinner, but I didn't want to give you the wrong idea.
Well, I do like distinguished men with a full head of hair.
Distinguished? Ouch. You're not married, right?
I was, twice. Both husbands thought I was too competitive.
Lawyers?
Yeah. I should have married trumpet players. At least every conversation wouldn't lead to cross-examination.
I see.
No matter how hard I try, can't seem to stay away from lawyers.
Is that so?
It's in my blood. I worked with my father as a plaintiff's attorney for a few years.
Ah, didn't like dealing with the unwashed masses?
No. Actually, when I was younger, I promised myself I would never be a lawyer. But my father wanted it so bad I became one anyway. I was his partner until he died. Then, when General Chemical came along, couldn't resist the compensation.
What are we doing here, Dorothy? Alone? You guys think I'm the weak link?
The consensus is you are the most reasonable, and besides, we have a history.
And?
I think the whole case, all of it, personal injuries and all, should be settled.
We're of the same mind. Do you have any numbers? If not, we're ready to submit our formal demand, and we'd be settling for the national class.
That's what General wants. One mammoth class action settlement. We want it over forever.
It won't be cheap.
Then, before we get into the numbers,
No, there's nothing you could say to me that would
I don't
ever-
know. It seems that after California, certain people at General thought you might be a threat to us in the future. You know,
Well, I thought we settled California rather amicably. I mean, no shouting, no death threats.
I would be the last to stoop to such lengths.
What are you talking about?
In this envelope is a security pack of photos and a disc.
Of what?
Your affair with the boy, everything.
In my 30 years of practice, never has anyone pulled anything like this.
I'm sorry. I guess the company felt a great deal was at stake.
So you delve into my private life, trying to ruin me so you could save a few dollars on this case?
I would never condone this. Never. But they thought that if I brought this to you, I don't know, maybe we could work something out.
Fuck you.
Ben, I promise that if you work with me on a settlement, everything in this envelope will disappear. Everything.
You people are idiots. You can't even destroy your own incriminating studies. You sit there trying to blackmail me into taking a dive. I should call the disciplinary committee right now.
No, please don't. Look, I can help you.
How? You and your cohorts want to destroy my life. Who are you gonna tell? My wife? You think she doesn't know?
There's something going on that you don't understand yet.
What game are you playing, Dorothy? First you say you're gonna blackmail me, and now you're gonna help me?
But Ben,
Oh, enough. And you thought I was the reasonable one. Next time you see me, my fangs will be bared.
He wouldn't go for it. That man lives on principles, clients first. I like that about him.
Delay. I think they're screwing with us.
I don't think so. We need to come up with some realistic numbers. If they decide it's better to fight all the way, we'll be faced with the Vioxx marathon.
I think the only way to come up with realistic numbers, it's got to be a national settlement. God, that's probably over 1 million class members right there alone. How the hell are we supposed to come up with a realistic number when we don't even know how many class members we have? Who died from cancer? Who's going to get cancer? Who is already developing cancer? How much is each one of these lives worth? It's virtually impossible to come up with a realistic number.
If you don't come up with one now, we're going to have to come up with one at trial.
Whoa, we have too much to lose by going to trial, including $500,000 in costs so far.
Oh, my firm has about the same in costs, Phil.
Yeah, but you pulled in millions in that California settlement.
Split it 20 ways, it's not that much. And if we lose, my partners will take the cost out of my fees.
All right, look, so let's come up with a number then, okay? Any number of how many class members we think we have, and figure an average of, I don't know, what, $100,000 per member?
Okay, for 1 million class members, $10 billion.
No. You left off a zero. It's 100 billion.
That's absurd, they'll never go for it.
Well, then what, guys? We got to come up with a number. California?
How did you ever figure that California?
Well, we only had 20,000 possible members, and we were only suing for medical monitoring and cleanup. It came at about 200 million, give or take a few. We didn't go after the personal injury claims, and very few were filed after we settled because of the statute of limitations. Well, I really think we need to play ball with these guys. I met with Pilsner.
You met with Pills. Anything come of it?
She likes distinguished men.
Why not me?
Oh, too young and inexperienced.
No numbers. Did you talk numbers with her?
She wanted my advice on life. I told her to call Dr. Phil.
You never called me.
You know, I would really hate to give up the personal injury claims. Some of them are really gut-wrenching.
Client's greed sometimes leads to dismissal. In the 20 years I've been in the class action world, I found that there are more traps on the road to success than IEDs in Iraq.
Well, what should we do?
We drop the personal injury claims and just go after the medical monitoring and cleanup. 200 million wasn't a bad number in California. We could follow that settlement.
Yeah, if we drop the personal injury claims, a lot of the claimants will be up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. Wasn't that your argument, Ben?
The statute of limitations will run out on most of these claims if we drop them.
I say we hold them in, at least until we find General doesn't go with the numbers that we offer.
Yeah, I agree with Phil. We can play out this string until they're ready to walk.
We're playing Russian roulette, guys. If General decides not to settle and we lose in court, we could be looking at possibly 20 million in fees that also walk.
Yeah, but then we'd be giving in to them. And a lot of people would be screwed, Ben. You've been saying that all along.
And if we lose, if the court doesn't certify our class, we could be tied up in litigation for maybe 5 years and another million in costs. Is that what you want?
Pilsner must have put the fear of God in you.
Oh, fuck you. You know Pilsner would rather fight it out in court than pay more than they paid in California.
California was one state. Come on, we're talking national. How can they expect us to take the same amount as California when we're talking national?
They thought California was a mistake, a fluke.
What we're going to ask is chump change compared to what a negative verdict would cost them. Did you tell her that?
She knows. She's been in the game a long time. She knows.
You know what? I say screw them. There is a 50-50 chance we get to keep in the PI claims.
I don't think so.
You know, I gotta be honest with you, Ben. I think you and your boys threw in the towel way too early in California. We wouldn't have settled without the PI. It's like giving away the store.
Maybe you're right, Frank. You're young. How many juries have you faced when the foreman comes back and tells you that you did a lousy job, no cause, guilty? Your client goes down the tube. How many, Frank? I've been down that losing path, with your client looking over at you, wondering what you did wrong. How do you explain that to them? They don't know that the judge probably screwed up, or maybe you didn't have enough evidence to convince the jury. There ain't no justice out there if you lose. That's why we settled.
I don't think Frankie here is doubting your intent in California. It's just, we don't want to get bitten in the ass if we have to settle this case for less than it's worth.
How the hell do we know what any case is worth? You get one disappointed plaintiff, and where do they go? The ethics board. And they put you through the meat grinder, second-guessing everything you did. They don't care that you gave your heart and soul to your client. All they care about is protecting all those innocent people out there against us sleazy shysters. Oh, and you get one too many unhappy client? And you might just have to kiss that impressive license on the wall goodbye. You think war's hell? Practicing class action law ranks right up there.
Well, I agree with you there. At least in the battlefield, you know your enemy's out to kill you. There's no subterfuge. Just machine guns pointing at your head. But in this room, we play nicely. We treat the adversaries with a modicum of gentility. But I wouldn't put it past our adversaries to try to destroy each one of us. The kind of money we're talking, anything goes. We just don't see the machine guns. But they're there, hidden underneath those overpriced Brioni suits.
That's how I met Phil.
In a war?
In the courtroom.
It was worse than a goddamn war.
My now senior partner was the defendant.
You were being sued?
Nah, I wish. No, not civil, criminal. Statutory rape to be exact.
And I was the prosecutor.
Trumped up charges. I was being set up by a bunch of corporate assholes that I was suing on behalf of 100,000 pharmaceutical clients.
Yeah. In the middle of the trial, the young so-called victim, who looked 30 but was really 15, she finally admitted to me that she was being paid to hang Phil.
Fortunately, I had a really good private investigator. He found out about the scheme, and I hid those dicks by the short hairs, and I burned them for $50 million.
After that circus, I knew I wanted to join Phil. Listen, if you're going to go to war, I wanted to be on the winning side.
Did you prosecute the corporate defendants?
No, but I threatened to if they didn't settle the class action suit for the amount that I wanted. Said I'd throw their asses in jail and throw away the key.
That was 10 years ago. We've been partners ever since.
Who would ever think they'd pull crap like that? But I guess when you're talking millions,
Oh, but you survived.
barely. If it hadn't been for my wife at the time.
No, he divorced her 3 years later.
What can I say? I'm not meant for a permanent relationship.
Well, how do you explain young Frank over there?
That's different. We don't make love, we make money.
Besides, Phil here? Not my type.
I still wake up sometimes in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, trembling.
The newspapers had a ball. I never thought Phil would see the inside of the courtroom again. Well, not as a lawyer, anyway.
But you were acquitted, and the entire case was eventually dismissed.
Doesn't matter, Ben. Once you're painted with that brush, it never goes away. I still hear the whispers in the back of the courthouse. Public never forgets.
Never goes away, huh?
Just do what you have to do and keep on going.
Guess you could blow your brains out.
What? And give in to those goddamn monsters? No way. You never want to go out a loser. And that's what you are if you blow your brains out.
It's the first thing they teach you in law school. Nobody grieves for dead lawyers.
let's say General's people were doing it now, in this case.
Well, not.
Let's just say theoretically.
To whom?
Let's say theoretically to me.
I don't think we should play games.
I'm not.
Is this what your meeting with Pilsner was all about?
Let's say it was.
What do they have on you, Ben?
I had an affair.
So what? Half the married men in the world have affairs.
Not with a 19-year-old boy.
Well, he's not a minor.
So, there's no problem.
Well, then Pilsner got weird. Said she was going to help me. I told her she could kiss my ass.
Yeah, but you still tried to screw us over.
Yeah. Wow. I guess it does get to you.
Well, what should we do now, guys?
I guess I could blow my brains out.
Yeah, and then Frankie and I can keep all the fees. Ben, I'm glad you told us. Let's see if we can use this shit against them.
I really wish you would have taped your meeting with Pilsner.
Well, I could drop the case and have one of my partners take over.
Not in a million years. Fuck them. They're gonna figure that you didn't tell us. Well, you did. Tell you what, Ben, you call up Pilsner. Tell her we want to meet. Let's see how they're gonna use this shit against me. You call her up and sound afraid. She'll think you're gonna stiff us. You okay? You okay with that?
You sure? There's a lot at stake here.
That's all right. Frankie and I can handle it. Let us little guys do the job, and justice will prevail.
This Wednesday at 11 a.m.? Okay.
But I thought you said your meeting with Donaldson didn't go well.
Smells like he's gonna cave. I guess we'll know soon enough.
Our stock is tanking because of this damned class action.
It could be anything.
I've been buried under the calls of the media people.
Warsaw is a master at spreading the word to the press.
I thought Judge Brokaw put muzzles on all of us, at least until the trial.
We should tell the judge.
With what evidence? I'm sure the almighty press would never reveal their sources. Ever hear of Judith Miller, Norman Pearlstein? That's the way the game is played. Innuendo will do the trick if there's nothing else on the table.
What about our PR people?
What are they gonna say? The public loves negative publicity, and we're the big bad corporate wolf.
I spoke with the board yesterday. They're not happy with the market drop.
I'll bet your little date with Donaldson has something to do with this.
We don't know that yet.
It would piss me off.
But Donaldson just called.
Forget about Donaldson. I have something else. Even better.
What?
Kid. Warsaw.
God damn it, why do we have to keep playing these games?
We don't have to if they play along with us.
I don't care if you have him raping a nun. Why don't we just fight it out in the merits?
The general might as well file for bankruptcy.
What the hell are you talking about, John? The expert we just found will attest to the fact that General's chemical waste does not cause cancer. Not even a bad cold.
There's more information coming out from the government. EPA hasn't released all its findings yet.
How the hell do you know that?
Our political people tell us.
Political people?
Lobbyists. We pay a lot of money to those ass kissers.
Okay, so what could you possibly have on Warsaw? I thought he was a golden boy, prosecutor, law review, all those sorts of goodies.
Whatever we say in this room is privilege.
No, maybe I don't want to hear this shit.
We don't have to use it
Then why reveal it?
because it's there.
That sounds like climbing Mount Everest. We don't even know what's going on with Donaldson yet. Why are we going after Warsaw? What do you have on him?
Take a look.
So what? He was caught with an ounce of coke when he was 16 years old. By the way, how did you get a juvenile record?
We have our ways.
What's the difference? We have it. But we'll only use it if they become totally intractable.
We have a great case, guys. Like Ignacio said, we could probably fight it out on the merits.
Maybe, maybe not. But this is our ace in the hole. I don't think we could weather the full brunt of thousands of individual personal injury cases. If it came to that, it would drive us into bankruptcy.
I have more faith in our defense, John.
I just told you, you haven't seen everything.
Then maybe I should.
Yeah, well, if you did, and Alessi and company found out, they could get the court to waive attorney-client privilege, and you could be deposed.
Only if they knew what we had and that we couldn't have obtained it legally.
Do we want to take that chance?
Exactly how bad is it, John? If everything went the other way.
Ed?
If we figure 1 million possible claimants, and we lose on every personal injury claim, then probably over $80 billion. And if that happens, Perez, your firm will go under with Joe.
But that's if we lose on every suit. And there won't be 1 million claims.
Alessi and Warsaw think there will be if the class goes national.
Maybe I should get a job with Alessi in Warsaw.
What about Alessi?
Oh, he's got his history.
Oh, and he's proud of it.
Oh, God damn it, what you guys are talking about is criminal. Count me out. Okay, I don't want to take part of this whole, I don't even know what the hell to call it.
Okay, I got another idea. What if Dorothy meets with Warsaw?
What? You want me to sleep with him? Threaten him with being a dope pusher, huh? Tell me.
No, I'm not asking you to sleep with him. Just have a drink. Socialize.
Since I'm the only woman in this think tank, why else would you choose me instead of, say, Ignacio or yourself? You in Warsaw, just a couple guys shooting the shit.
Okay, Dorothy. I'm depending on you to be a woman. A very attractive woman.
I'm sure Warsaw would screw anyone who shows a little cleavage.
And again, I'm just asking you to have a conversation over a drink. Nothing more.
Frank Warsaw is single, and he loves his girls very young, very beautiful.
Great. I'll be sure to pick up a naughty schoolgirl costume from Party City.
First Donaldson, and now Warsaw?
Warsaw's got a lot more to lose than Donaldson. I mean, he's young, he's got his whole career ahead of him. Again, Dorothy, you don't have to do this. It's well beyond your job description. But I just think that somehow Warsaw could be made to see the light.
Oh, hallelujah! Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition! Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
You got a better idea, Mr. Perez? I'm all ears.
I still say we fight it out in the conference room, and if we're not successful there, in court. You remember Merck? Merck said, kiss my ass, and refused to run. We negotiate from strength, John, not like a bunch of little wussies afraid of the bully on the playground.
Okay, so Dorothy has a drink with Warsaw.
And maybe you can mention the coke escapade. He may be the key to a reasonable settlement.
Hey, he's a good-looking guy, Dorothy.
John, you're my boss. We've worked together for 100 years. You're full of shit. You want me to bang his brains out? What? Maybe I gotta screw all of them. Is that what you guys want me to do? I'll even get my strap on and bang the shit out of Donaldson. I need to get out of here and fill my head with a good, unhealthy cigarette.
Dorothy, I expect you to have that meeting with Warsaw. Don't forget why you're there. You do like your job, don't you?
great. Yeah, thank you. Wow. Whoa, you certainly don't look like General Chemical's corporate counsel.
Yeah, in court, I wear a battle uniform. Here, I'm just a civilian.
Well, I have to say, when I got your phone call last night inviting me out, it's like you were reading my mind.
I didn't think you'd come, with the negotiations and all.
I just hope this isn't another "this is your life" surprise party.
Donaldson told you. I didn't think he would.
Of course you would. I think actually the only surprise is that it's me sitting here and not Phil. I figured you guys would be drooling over his history.
You've got some history, too.
I thought I was too young to have history. Well, what's it gonna be, huh? Blackmail? A bribe? Oh, I hope it's a bribe. I love bribes. Nuts. More blackmail. Wow, my juvenile record. How did you guys get this? It's supposed to be confidential. Look at my mugshot. I was such a hottie when I was 16, huh? Yeah. To Dorothy. Do you mind if I call you Dorothy? With love, Frank. Is Duchamp gonna see this? P.S. Eat me Duchamp. There you go. You can frame that and put it bedside and have sweet, sweet dreams about me.
Look, it wasn't my idea. General just wants a reasonable settlement, and this can all go away.
This? What's this? My juvenile record? This is not a secret. Everybody knows about this. Hey, when I was 16, I got busted for coke. See? Nobody cares. Look, you're not the only ones that know about this. Do you know who else knows about this? The Manhattan DA's office. Do you know how they know? Because I told them when I applied for the ADA position. And guess who else knows? The bar's character committee. Huh, I told them too. Just in case someday some sleazy defending corporation like General Chemical tried to use it against me or one of my clients. So you guys got anything else?
Nope.
Great. Well, now that that's over with, let's have some wine, huh? You seeing anyone?
That's a secret.
Oh, don't worry. I won't tell. Our class is so big, he's probably a plaintiff.
Then I'd have to recuse myself. Pity. No, he's not a member of your class, just your average .com millionaire.
Does he have a private jet?
And a yacht.
Sounds too good to be true.
Oh, he is.
Does he have a sister? Maybe the three of us can borrow his jet for a little weekend getaway. I'm sorry. That was weird. I came on way too strong there, didn't I?
You came on a little strong.
Yeah. Sorry. It's just this blackmail thing.
I know. Like I said, not my idea.
I get it. You're just the messenger. But did you volunteer or did they make you?
What difference does that make?
Well, I think it makes all the difference in the world.
Nobody makes me do anything. Isn't it possible that I also was interested in a romantic evening with a handsome young plaintiff's lawyer?
Dearest Dorothy, I Googled you. Phi Beta Kappa from Harvard, law review at Columbia, and senior in-house up-and-coming counsel at General Chemical. I was really flattered when you invited me to this wonderful dinner. I mean, really, schmoozing me. I'm just a graduate of Rutgers. A candidate, no less. So you tell me that it's my swarthy, ever-present 5 o'clock shadow that's persuaded you into inviting me to this elegant restaurant.
I guess you don't think much of yourself.
Oh no, see, that's where you're wrong. I think I'm the greatest thing since Gatorade. I just got a feeling that I don't quite meet the Dorothy Pilsner minimum income requirements. Yet.
General is very serious about settling.
So are we.
We can't get to the numbers you want.
We haven't even advised you of our numbers.
We can guess, especially if you include all possible personal injury claims.
We represent the class members for all their damages.
You know, you'll never get the PI claims included for certification.
Maybe, maybe not, but we'll try. Look, we've danced this dance before, all right? So, unless you've got some new moves to show me, well, I can think about 100 more ways I'd like to see this night go.
I don't want to settle.
Oh, baby, a night out with me is not settling.
You idiot. The case.
Oh,
I don't want to settle.
but you just said General is very serious about settling.
General is, yes, but I'm not. In fact, I'm dead set against it, and you should be too.
Really?
Really. I need you to trust me, Frank. You want to take this to trial. Do not settle, no matter what. If you really care about your class members the way you say you do, you will not settle ever for any amount. You want to take this to trial.
That was really good. Really good, Dorothy. I mean, really, you almost had me there.
There are things I know that you don't know. Take this
There
to
are
trial.
things that I don't know? What about the things that you don't know? Like the fact that I've seen you in action? The famous General Chemical burn case? I marveled at how you played that jury like a Stradivarius. I mean, really, it was an absolute travesty of justice. I did not think that those poor burn victims were going to get any justice, and they didn't.
You don't understand. I needed that case to...
Oh, but I do understand. See, that's the problem. I understand that you want to take this case to court, to trial, because you're going to be marvelous in it. You know that we're never going to get the personal injury claims certified in the courts. Did you even bother to read my juvenile record? Because if you had, you would know that the last time somebody asked me to trust them, I got royally dicked. I had no idea that there was an ounce of coke in that car. And my so-called friends literally left me holding the bag. And when the shit hit the fan, they were all laughing their asses off while I'm the one who paid the price.
I get that you're angry, and you have no reason to trust me. The juvenile record was a Bush League move, but I need you to trust me, Frank. The burn case, the California settlement, going to trial now, it will all make sense if you just trust me.
Horse shit.
Please.
Here. Why don't you tell your handlers that I paid for dinner? See you at the settlement table.
Frank,
Not how I wanted to see this night go.
Where's your star? I have a nervous board to contend with. They're worse than a bunch of kindergartners.
It's 7:32, Ed. I just saw her. She'll be right in.
I am still not awake yet.
I hope she did better with this kid than she did with the Fed.
Jesus, Ed.
Well, at least this time she has the right equipment.
Oh, you're a real class act. You learned that at show?
She warned us it wouldn't work.
It didn't work because she couldn't work it.
This kind of shit can always backfire.
Well, it was a shitty idea.
what was a shitty idea?
Starting this conference before the sun comes up.
How'd it go?
Not all trial lawyers wake up at the crack of dawn.
Only if I'm on trial.
You may well be if we don't get this settled today.
Here, you drop this in the hall.
God, I need those.
When are you going to get that stomach looked at?
I did. It's nothing that can't be cured with a cocktail of Prilosec and Tom.
Hey! Dorothy! How did it go with the kid?
What did Warsaw think about our little reveal of his juvenile indiscretion?
He didn't care.
It didn't bother him at all.
Nope, it didn't work with Donaldson, and it didn't work with Warsaw.
What the
you keep
fuck,
playing
Dorothy?
these games
I
and
told you
killing
to
our
get it done.
credibility
What
with
the
the
hell is
opposing
going on
counsel.
with
When are you
you?
gonna let us do our jobs?
Okay. We'll find another way.
Wasn't all bad. He did pay for dinner.
That bastard is leaking their experts' findings to the media. The cancer theory made the morning news, and our stock tanked yesterday. You know, everyone always forgets the good things that General Chemical does. What about those scholarships that we fund for those goddamn black kids up in Harlem? Or that we found the vaccine for shingles? Why don't those liberal media assholes tell the world how General is saving the world? No, that's not interesting enough. That doesn't sell airtime. That doesn't get ratings. All they care about is General Chemical allegedly dumping contaminated water into the ground. So much bullshit. If they're going to leak their information to the media, we should do the same.
As you just said, it's bad for ratings to hate the little guy.
Guys, we got up at the crack of dawn to map strategy. So Ignacio, how many states do you think would be involved if this case got certified to go national?
Every state that General has a factory in, or wherever General's waste is being deposited, maybe 15, maybe more.
Well, 15 is better than 52.
But you guys said the EPA has new information coming out that could hurt us. And our internal studies completely disregarded the scientific results of years of testing people who are drinking the water. You know that the chemical waste you are dumping into America's streams is the direct cause of cancer.
But the new expert's going to testify.
No, we admit nothing. It's not us dumping shit into America's streams. Our scientific expert says so.
Our expert is going to get eaten alive by Alessi and Donaldson. On cross-examination, our guy is going to fall apart when they start drilling him on why his conclusions contradict EPA findings. I'm still not suggesting settling for any big numbers. Not because we win a trial, no sir, but if we beat them on the class certification motion and get the personal injuries excluded, the big money disappears. They know they'll never get to represent all the excluded personal injury clients. Not with a million lawyers out there swarming like vultures for all those cancer victims. That's millions of dollars they're losing if they don't settle.
If it's fees they're worried about, we work a settlement that's especially attractive for them.
Oh God, even if they dump those innocent cancer victims into the polluted streams, I never attribute outright stupidity to Alessi and Donaldson. Not on a case as big as this one. Besides, now all the plaintiffs' lawyers are extremely careful in how they represent their class members, especially after the Millbrook fiasco. They screwed up so bad they found themselves in jail.
Gentlemen, can we put a number on this case? As you know, if it were my decision, screw it. Let's go to trial and watch them go down in flames.
If we're looking at medical monitoring and such, it's a livable number. We might be able to settle for as little as $300 million.
That's not much more than the California settlement.
DuPont paid $343 million for just Ohio and West Virginia in 2004. It's never gonna fly. Guys, I can win this case.
The case in Anniston, Alabama settled for $700 million. We can use that as our top number.
But that was spread over several companies. We're not paying that.
John, if they win the motion to include the personal injury claims, that's billions on the total settlement for the entire complaint.
That's ridiculous.
Wait a minute. You have insurance, right? What about a settlement for the insurance company's money? Ah, that's why General pays those crazy premiums every year. Let them pay the $700 million.
We don't have that kind of coverage. We have a $1 billion deductible.
Are you kidding me? That is insane. Who the hell approved that type of deductible?
Saved us millions of dollars in premiums.
Until you get hit with this kind of suit.
We never thought.
Oh, you never thought. With all that shit you're dumping into the water supply, you never thought? My God, who the hell's running this company? The Marx Brothers?
Hey, come on.
No.
Hey.
No. Ignacio, you don't get to read us the Riot Act, okay? General Chemical has been in business for over 100 years. Nothing like this has ever happened.
John, we should have looked over the insurance policy.
It's not legal's job. We've got an insurance department for that.
Well, guys, somebody made a shit show out of this one, and now it's too late to cover our asses. Your asses.
Wait a minute. General only has to cover the deductible. We can handle $1 billion, can't we, Ed?
Except we have a 50-50 exposure on the balance. We still could get hit with billions in damage.
Then none of this is ever going to work. We need to get this in court.
No. Wait. We need to hear their number. We don't all need to go off the deep end. You know, I've never known a plaintiff's attorney who wasn't more interested in their own end of the settlement. So we set up a settlement that has a handsome fee for the attorneys, and then maybe at the fairness hearing, we send somebody in to object to the fees.
Well, where the hell would that get us? That would only abort the settlement.
I don't think so. Not if we include a reversionary clause such that any and all monies not approved by the court or given out to the class are returned to general.
They'll never agree to that.
Well, I think they will. First of all, if they don't, we don't have a deal. Besides that, I think these guys are so cocky, they believe that any numbers that we agree on, they can get the court to approve.
Look, if we agree to 25%, then we should stand by it. Sending someone in is just more game-playing bullshit.
I'm tired of your goddamn moral bullshit. You and your company work for General Chemical. You lose us, you're back in the public defender's office. So you can just stop playing the vessel virgin. You're in as deep as we are. You on the same page now?
I'll agree to the 25% and the reversionary clause. But I still think they're going to turn it down. We dealt with Donaldson in California. He's a pit bull.
That was different. That was our first case. And besides, this is a different situation. I think it's
He's
just
gonna
be
go for it,
different
don't you
here.
think?
I think,
That pit bull?
that is the situation. That in California, their firm agreed to 15% penalties, I believe, for legal fees. So, if we offer that pit bull 25%, they'll jump on it.
So what is our top dollar number?
500 million, not a goddamn penny more. You know, like Dorothy said, if they want to do battle, they'll get out the sabers. Anything further?
Ooh, nice digs.
Don't let the wood paneling fool you.
Why? Is it fake?
Well, here we are. I guess we're finished dancing around the table, and now it's time to sit. But proof is in the pudding. Are we ready to deal?
How many members of your plaintiff's class are still within statute of limitations?
Oh, that's what I like about you, Ignacio. You get right to the point.
We just want to keep your hourly fees within reason, Phil.
Frankie, we got those numbers handy.
Could be $1 million, could be 100,000. We won't know until we settle the personal injury issue.
Then how the hell can we settle all your possible claims when you don't even know how many of your possible class members may, and I emphasize may, have actually sustained an injury?
To settle anything and include personal injury claims, after your lame attempt at blackmail twice, this cocksucker suggests $15 billion.
You're out of your mind. That would send us right to bankruptcy.
Doesn't mean General would have to pay that amount. We'd set up a common fund and have an independent mediator decide how much and how many have sustained personal injuries. It could be $1 billion or even less.
And who would this impartial judge be?
Whomever we decide on, maybe a retired federal judge.
Or maybe we can get the guy that did the towers.
We presume that we'd want his decision to be binding.
Of course, why go through all these motions if either side could appeal?
Where the hell do you think General Chemical is going to come up with $15 billion?
You guys are pissing in the wind. You know and I know that the personal injury claims would never be certified in your motion.
You may be right, Ignacio, but then the thousands or possibly millions not included in our settlement would each bring a suit, one by one by one. And General would be twisting in the wing with his ball sack hanging out like a punching bag.
We want a total settlement.
We can offer you 200 million.
Oh, you're wasting our time.
It's only a start. I'm sure we can scratch up a few more bucks, John.
It's a long way from 200 million to 15 million.
Ben, we still have a couple hours before lunch. Have a seat. We can tell lawyer jokes.
All right, look, I'm sure each camp has discussed the real numbers. Bill, Ben, let's give these fine folks our bottom numbers.
After looking over our potential members who have developed cancer or any other diseases from General's waste dumping,
We will not agree, regardless of the settlement amount. Will not agree to General causing anything to anybody.
How the hell can you say that? Your own company's reports and reports backed by the EPA clearly state that chemicals dumped into the people's public drinking water supply cause various types of cancer.
Wait a second. Nobody has conclusive proof of any liability against General. All you have is a lot of maybes. And as any experienced trial lawyer knows, maybe might get you past summary judgment, but that's a big maybe. The latest Supreme Court opinion clearly says that if you don't have conclusive evidence in your complaint, not just allegations, then you might just lose in our motion to dismiss.
And if you lose your motion to dismiss, where does that leave your client?
Then we fight you on the class certification motion.
Well, counselor, you can bet your bottom dollar that if you lose on both motions, we ain't settling this case for peanuts.
We're not offering peanuts, Mr. Warsaw. $200 million is not peanuts.
Counselors, please. Peanuts you throw to elephants at the zoo. We have come to this table to settle everything. That's what you said at the last meeting. Everything. 200 million is subway fare for our injured members.
Okay. If we want to stop throwing bullshit on the table, give us your bottom dollar.
5 billion, and then we could all go to the beach.
Our top dollar is 500 million for everything. A fund to dispose of everything. Personal injuries, everything.
Well, now you're at the taxi fare. Just enough to get our clients to the hospital to die. That's what 500 million would do.
We'd be willing to go along with 25% for attorney's fees.
We don't talk fees until claims are settled first.
Oh, you're so generous. I guess you figured you'd throw out your magnanimous fee on the table and we'd dive in after it. $125 million in fees. That'd buy a lot of Nathan's hot dogs, huh, Frankie?
Sure would. Unfortunately, counselor, the judge who approves this settlement would throw it out if he felt that the class members were getting raped. And it's apparent that rape is the word to use to describe your offer.
$5 billion is out of the question.
Okay, I guess you folks want our real bottom number. Let's step out for a minute.
Fine. But you can bet it'll begin with a B.
Frank Bennett, if we stay in haggle, we'll be here till the Democrats retake Congress.
God damn it, now we're talking billions?
Donaldson's idea of a common fund might work.
Wait.
Oh, no, Ignacio, let me finish. Our insurance deductible is $1 billion, right?
Yes, but the $1 billion deductible won't even satisfy the cost of monitoring.
Yes.
And we're on the hook for half the balance to get rid of the waste problem.
Yes.
And pay all the personal injury claims.
You're right, but listen to me. Let's say we file an insurance claim for $2 billion and put it in an interest-bearing fund. We'd have to cover the first billion, but then the 50-50 split would kick in on the second billion.
Okay, so now we're up to 1.5. But what happens if the claims go over 2 billion?
Well, then we do what was done in settling the World Trade Center, reduce claims and attorney's fees, everything on a pro rata basis.
But-
And who knows, if they agree to the reversionary clause, we might get off with a much lower payout.
That's if they agree to all this.
Yes, and I would add an opt-in clause.
I don't think a judge is going to go along with an opt-in clause.
But then the claimants who don't opt in could sue individually. Aren't we back to where we started?
Not if we add a clause that if 10% or more of the class does not opt in, the deal is off. They'd have to convince 90% of their class that the settlement is the way to go, and it would include all personal injury claims.
What about the attorney fee issue?
Well, we agreed to 25% attorney's fees. It's up to them to convince the judge that their services have been worth $500 million. And also, gentlemen, the attorney's fees would be subject to the total dollar amount available to their clients. If the claims exceed $2 billion minus their fees, then their fees would be reduced pro rata to pay off the claims.
Okay, what about the reversionary clause, where any unspent money comes back to us?
I can't guarantee everything, John. If they agree to the reversionary clause, great, but I wouldn't let it kill the deal. And finally, we insist upon a statute of limitations, 2 years from the date of the filing of the class action complaint. That would substantially limit personal injury claims.
So only the people who know they have cancer now, today, would be eligible to file a claim.
Exactly.
You think the court, even if the lessee and company agreed to it, would allow that kind of restriction? I mean, what about people who develop cancer?
Those claims that are 2 years old, it's gone. They can't file suit. Then we'd only face whatever individual claims remain. I think we can handle those successfully.
Dorothy may be right. The cost to wage war for individual complaint would be substantial for the plaintiff.
Yeah, but what about all those technical reports that are already in the case?
Well, we asked the court to seal all documents, everything. Medical reports, studies, everything.
Okay, okay. Ed?
Do it.
Okay, I want to get this in writing so we can give it to them right after they give us the bottom dollar.
Knowing Alessi and Donaldson, their bottom dollar will be higher, much higher than our proposal.
Give this over to Eric and have him type it up.
I'll do it. He types like he has hooks for hands. I'll be back ASAP.
I hope you know what the fuck you're doing, John. This all sounds very dangerous.
You know, nothing is ever stable at this point in the game.
But these numbers you're throwing around.
Hey, listen, there's so much shit in the water out there.
What? There's so much shit in the water out there? Is that what you said? There's so much shit in the water out there? Where is your goddamn head? Of course there's shit in the water out there. And there's lead in the water everywhere. And there's billions of microscopic plastic particles in the New York City drinking water supply. And those poor assholes in Beijing can't go out of their houses some days because they can't breathe the air. Same thing in Mexico City or Rio, I think. What the fuck do you think the price is for living in the modern world? What? You want to go back to living in wigwams and hunting buffalo with spears? Or do you want to drive a car, use a cell phone, have heat in your condo, and hop on a plane once in a while to jet back to the islands, man? There's so much shit in the water out there. That's just the way it is. And how do you think people afford these conveniences in life? It isn't by growing corn and storing it for the winter months. It's business. Business. From the mom and pop store on the corner to the Generals and the DuPonts and the Johnson & Johnsons. Big business. Creating jobs, creating wealth. Our whole damn economy. Oh, and how do they do it? They do it by taking risks, creating new and amazing things. So, J&J made a hip replacement with metal that broke off in some poor schmuck's body and poisoned him. Well, I'm sorry. Do you know how many thousands and thousands and even millions of people's livelihoods depend on the risks that these companies take? And what? You want the whole system to grind to a halt while we study every possible obstacle, every possible problem. We can't. We don't even know what our stuff causes. No one knows for sure how drugs really work in our body. But we know for damn sure that without the profit motive, without big companies like General generating billions in profits for shareholders, creating thousands of jobs, we might all be sitting in mud huts, praying to the sun god for a good harvest. So why don't you worry less about the shit in the water and more about doing your goddamn job?
Knock, knock. Couldn't help it over here.
Hey, we've been awaiting a return with bated breath, Phil. And here we your bottom dollar.
I see we're missing someone.
Oh, she'll be in a minute. So, what's the magic number?
Well, after vigorous debate and in the spirit of cooperation, our bottom number is 3.4 billion.
3.4 billion. The exact same number in the breast implant case. But that was divided among 4 corporations.
Yeah, but there was only 10,000 claimants. 3.4 billion, and that encompasses all of the monitoring, cleanup costs, and the monetary damages on the personal injury claims.
And how much more for your fees?
Fees are included. 25% of the total settlement with no objection from General when we apply to the court for fees.
But what if the claims plus the fees all come up to more than 3.4 billion?
I don't think it will.
It could, and then what?
I guess we'd agree to a pro rata reduction of the individual claimant's amount across the board.
Well, Mrs. Pilsner has stepped out to draw up our offer, our final offer. But I think you'll find that it incorporates all of the requirements necessary to get this through the courts. Thank you.
John, how are we?
I think we're good to go.
Gentlemen, I think you will find we have made you an offer you can't refuse.
Ben, Frank, any objections?
Phil, maybe we should discuss this in private?
I don't think we have to deliberate this among ourselves, Frankie. You might even say that on first impression, the offer is, and I do emphasize, almost reasonable.
I don't like the reversionary clause. I don't think the court will buy into it, and all monies left over need to go back to the class.
I'm not crazy about any pro rata reductions, especially on fees.
I thought you guys didn't care about fees.
Screw you, Perez, all right? We just didn't want to talk fees until our class members' claims were settled.
You might have trouble convincing the court that your long-suffering client's claims should be reduced and your fees remain intact.
That's our mountain to climb. Thanks.
I think the proposal is eminently fair, but we can tweak it, right, John?
I am against the reversionary clause. No court will buy it. And any monies not distributed go back to general. Fuck that, nothing goes back to general.
Okay, let's hold on that one for now. What about the rest of the offer?
I think you're a little light on the total payout, but it doesn't have to be 3.4 billion. Well, what if we get down to an even 3?
2.5 and it's done.
I've also got concerns about the statute of limitations. I mean, 2 years only? Isn't that going to leave a lot of claimants out in the cold?
Those claims not yet made can file individual suit against general.
I put up the cost for the experts? Come on. You know those individuals not included may as well die on the vine.
We're not budging on the 2-year statute of limitations.
I'll go along with the settlement as revised, but all of the documentation, medical reports, studies, everything must be available for public view.
Ignacy? Arthur? Well, as long as my colleagues don't object, then I'd be willing to go along with that proviso.
All right, let my colleagues and I leave the room. We won't be long.
So, Ed, do you think we can get this past the board of directors?
We'd all be putting our jobs on the line if something goes wrong. Besides, if we agree to the settlement, then General is admitting that it knowingly withheld information.
So what? I think General will be getting off easy. Merck put aside $1 billion to defend themselves against 1,000 suits, but ended up having to settle for several billion.
We'd have to clean up all waste matters, water pollution, everything. And we'd have to do that under the EPA orders anyway, Ed. PG&E spent $750 million on cleanup costs alone in the Hinkley groundwater contamination case. And that wasn't even a national class.
Then again, after Merck settled, its stock went through the roof. If I can convince the board that the same thing will happen here, then I think they'll go along with it.
I would recommend a settlement to the board as well.
Well, it's the settlement of the century. Now, who the hell is buying lunch?
If it's a deal, General will buy.
Per se. This settlement deserves per se.
I have to get to the bottom of this. This is a fucking hemorrhage. I have to get more information from you on your end. What are you clowns doing down there? Do you all have your heads up your asses? Everyone is going to go down, including you. So, get your dick out of your hand, get to work, and get me some answers. Let me know if there are any palms that need to be greased, and earn your damn paycheck. What the hell took you so long?
Christ, Ed, it's 2 in the morning. I got here as fast as I could. Where are John and Ignacio?
Sit down.
Since when do you drink?
Did anybody see you come in here? Did you see anybody?
No, just the guard in the lobby.
Good. I'm going to ask you a few questions, Dorothy. And I need you to think carefully about your answers.
You've been reading too many John Grisham novels. You need to get a life.
This is my life. Now listen to me. There's something very big going on. Horrific.
What are you talking about?
The EPA, the Justice Department, I think they're coming for us. Apparently they have gotten something on us.
Ed, are you drunk?
I am not drunk. This company is about to go down in flames. Now we have to figure out what they have and how they got it. I'm pretty sure it's an inside job. So I'm asking you, Darth. I want you to think carefully. Is it? Do you think it could be John or Ignacio?
What?
It has to be one of them. They're the only ones who have access to the information that could kill us.
I would never think either one of them
Oh,
would...
please. Perez, with that holier-than-thou attitude, always keeping his hands clean.
Ed,
Damn it, it's gotta be John.
John's given his life to this company.
He knows where the bodies are buried. He's gonna retire soon. I don't know. Maybe he wants a clear conscience before he jumps ship. You know how those Catholics are. Guilt will kill you. That's what I like about you, Dorothy. You, I can trust. You're, a-religious.
And amoral.
Right. Now, we have to figure out what they have so that we can get out in front of it.
Ed, it's too late.
No, it's not.
We can't get out in front of it.
Why the hell not?
They have it all, everything. All of our internal studies that should have been destroyed years ago, proving that C8 is conclusively linked to cancer, all our internal documents covering up those facts, and a condemning video that shows the direct effects of C8. They have it all.
How the hell do you know that?
I sent it to them.
What?
I gave everything to the DOJ and the EPA. Plus, I sent copies to our insurance carrier, so they won't be paying out the rest of that settlement. But that's pennies compared to what's coming. You'll be investigated by the DOJ. They'll probably bring criminal charges, and the EPA fines will be in the billions. General Chemical will be bankrupt.
Have you lost your mind?
What are you gonna do, Ed? Security knows I'm here. You fucking murderers. And you, Ed, you're the worst of all. I saw firsthand what General's poison was doing to people, especially children. You've been pouring that poison into the environment for over 40 years, all in the name of profit. Profit! Never thinking about the people whose lives you affect? You disgust me. The sickness, the death. It was time someone stopped you.
You think you can change the whole world? You think that taking down General is going to change anything? There's 1,000 other companies
Shut your
out there.
fucking mouth,
what
and
do
it's
you want me
Judgment
to
Day.
do? Say I'm sorry?
I don't want anything from you. I do hope that you die a slow and painful death.
Yeah, well, that's what life is, Dorothy, for all of us. A slow and painful death.
Especially if you drink the water.
Well, you do realize, Dorothy, that by taking down General, you have now destroyed thousands of innocent people's lives. I hope you can live with that.
I don't know if I can. As much as I regret it, it is, as you say, the cost of doing business. Good night, Ed. See you in hell.
Unbelievable.
Why would she do it?
She sent copies of this video to the EPA and the Department of Justice.
And the General's board.
Oh, you must be having a coronary.
So ends her brilliant career at General.
Or anywhere else. Christ, why would she do this? I've never seen anything like it. She was acting strange, though, when she met with you guys.
These indictments are definitely going to send General into bankruptcy.
Did you guys see where their stock landed last night after this news came out?
Do you think she was planning this?
Who the hell knows? At least she waited for our checks to clear first.
Right.
And all the claimants did to get their payouts before she sent the files.
But why would she do this? It's a clear breach. She's gonna be disbarred.
Not if she's a whistleblower.
Wait, so...
Brilliant.
Wait. So she was...
Think about it. She pushed General into that settlement. She even suggested what it should be.
And she was trying to blackmail me into taking a lowball settlement.
And she kept telling me to go to trial.
And that was after we convinced her that Ben went for the blackmail.
So she thought the settlement would be too low.
So she was going to take a dive in court? No way!
Man, that's impressive.
Guys, I think we should hire her.
Oh, I'm sure your motives are purely professional. Ben?
Well, as the newest partner in the firm, I don't know.
Guys, she's a killer in the courtroom!
And she's gonna need a job.
Dorothy. Long time no see.
Ignacio, I wasn't sure you'd show.
I'm here.
Did you miss me?
I thought you had been whisked away to some undisclosed location.
I was busy.
I read the papers.
I'm sorry.
Yeah? What happened? You were at the top at General.
I was planning this for 10 years.
You destroyed your own client and the people you had worked with.
My client was a murderer.
So how could you, Dorothy? You told me you destroyed that tape. You lied to me. I had your back and you lied to me.
I'm sorry. I needed everyone to believe in my loyalty. I was on Duchamp's shit list after the California settlement. I needed to secure my position until I had all the ammunition I needed and the timing was right to completely take down General.
You were instrumental in carving out a settlement that was good for General.
But after they paid out the entire settlement, I gave the feds all the internal studies proving that General knew they were poisoning the environment since the 60s.
Well, congratulations, because you destroyed my firm and me along with it.
Picture this. A little girl, blonde curls and an infectious smile, standing at the edge of a wading pool. She's sailing a toy boat on a beautiful day in the park. Her parents and everyone she meets adore her. Suddenly, she hiccups, and a stream of blood falls from her mouth into the water. Her parents were very worried and took her to the emergency room.
Where are you going with this?
You know that I went to Harvard undergrad. I was married in my sophomore year and pregnant soon after. We had a beautiful baby we named Megan. My husband Tom and I lived in Waterford, just south of Boston. General Chemical had a plant about a mile outside of town. When Megan was about 3, she started throwing up her food. We thought maybe she was allergic to something. But no, it was the water I was giving her right from our tap. She developed lymphoma. Her white blood cells were disappearing. We took her to Sloan Kettering, and that's how I wound up at Columbia Law. She was so brave. Never cried, never complained about the pain, nothing. She died when she was 4 years old. Later, I got the forensics, the medicals, everything. There was little doubt what caused her death.
I am so sorry.
After Megan died, General was cited by the Massachusetts Environmental Agency and the feds.
So you went to work for the company that killed your own daughter? How did you stomach it?
I didn't think it would take 10 years, but I was determined to make them pay.
How did they not? Didn't they do a background check?
I never filed a claim for Megan, so they never knew about her. And besides, Pilsner is my maiden name.
Why didn't you go after them right away?
Because I knew that going inside to work as their counsel would give me access to everything. Suing them at that time would get me nothing. They were too big and they'd never lost a suit. It would have been a lost cause. But once I got there, I knew that if I stayed long enough, I could take the whole company down.
I can't imagine what you went through after you lost your child, but Dorothy, all those years of your life and all the people who had died while you were waiting to take down General, was it worth it?
How can you tell? I can't tell anymore. When Megan died, I died with her.
The word on the street is General has filed a Chapter 11 and is restructuring. They're on their way back. And these big corporations are getting away with murder.
I guess they can kill us, but we can't kill them.
So what do you do now?
I don't know. Destroying General was all that kept me going. And now?
And now, we fight.
We fight.